What's going on, guys? Lyrics here, and I'm back bringing you today another highly requested video: controller settings and camera settings. Third time recording this video, really frustrating stuff. The first time, not sure what happened. I think I forgot to switch the mic on, but the second time I had an issue on the weekend with Streamlabs OBS, so I had to switch over to OBS Studio. So I kind of messed up the recording path thing to stop music from showing up in the recording. So yeah, recorded the whole commentary. It was actually really good as well, and of course no audio, so redoing it here now. Haven't slept for almost 24 hours, knackered, but time's a bit sparse. We got Club World Cup this week, Tuesday, Wednesday. My birthday's on Wednesday also, and of course we got a qualifier on the weekend, so there's not much time. Just finished editing my Foot Champs Cup highlights video part 2. If you guys want to watch that, check that out. Link that in the description, as always. But yeah, without further ado, man, let's get into these camera settings, controller settings. So we're gonna start off with the controller settings. These are not really like the be all end all in my opinion. Like, this isn't really gonna change your gameplay in any way. Maybe a tiny bit, but yeah, just gonna go through these quick. So the trainer, of course, is off. I don't think you can even use this in like Foot Champions or stuff like that. Time finishing's on here. Don't know if you guys see my video from the last Foot Champions Cup, but I actually turned off time finishing at the event because I kept red in shots. I kept red timing shots, and yeah, I don't really time anything unless I'm really feeling myself a little bit. So time finishing is a bit of a, I don't know. At home it's here, but it's not really here. You know, you might see me green like 2 shots a weekend in a weekend league or something like that. It's not really used often. Second man switch icon. This is something I use. I know a lot of people probably don't use. I know a lot of pros really don't like it, but nah, for me it helps with the LB switching. Like, it's one of them things, why wouldn't you want to have it? It shows you which icon, if you was to press LB at that moment, would switch to LB pretty much, and also shows you I think it shows you which person the second man presses also. Yeah, it also shows you if you hold B, well, for me it's B. If you hold second man press, then that shows what person is gonna second man press, which is, it's useful to have. It's really useful to have. So I definitely recommend having that on. Pass block assistance is on. That's another one where I think if you take it off, it stops your team from lunging for you, which, I don't know, I guess it would sound good because, you know, auto lunges, they can screw you over at times. But nah, you got to think about all the times where the auto lunge actually helps you out. So in my opinion, you're just at a massive negative having it off. Your AI is going to be a lot less switched on. You're not going to get as many AI interceptions as the other person. So yeah, I wouldn't take that off, but I know some that do. Auto switching air balls or loose balls. This is a thing that I could probably experiment a bit more with. You know, last year, because of the crossing meta, you needed air balls off and also the LBYs. So yeah, if someone launched LBY, of course you want your fullback running straight away. If someone whipped a cross in, you need to be able to contest the header as much as you can. You really couldn't, but yeah. But this year, nah. People kind of figured out if you do chip passes, for example, say I got the ball in my centre mid, you press me, but you leave the striker wide open. If I dink it to my striker, I'm at the complete advantage, if you get what I'm saying. So I've kind of got priority on the ball. So if I play the pass properly as I should, then I'm gonna be able to make sure that I'm 90% gonna get to the ball first. But at the same time, because air balls and loose balls is on, the opponent's centre back is gonna get locked onto the ball. So even though he's not gonna win it, it kind of takes him out of position. So maybe if you was to put it to I don't know, manual, you wouldn't be as much as disadvantage as in previous years, and you could probably be maybe an advantage. So that's something that, I don't know, maybe I could test. Maybe you guys can test later along the line. But for now, we're using air balls or loose balls. Auto switching move assistance. I don't have this on none. I have it on low. I don't know why this on none. The reason behind this is do you know for example, you know the long through balls, FIFA 19, it was really prevalent. you just literally just swing a through ball. So you'd wait for your striker to get to that position where the centre back no longer tracks the through ball. You'd play it. So like, to stop this, you'd have to switch on with your centre back and cover the run manually. And yeah, sometimes doing that, like, you need to, I don't know, you just need to like run back basically. But like, if you have it on none, then there's kind of like a little stutter, because obviously it's not keeping you moving in the current direction. So like, when you switch on, like, your guy can like, maybe like, I don't know, he freezes for like, it's not even half a second, I don't think, like maybe 0.2 seconds, but like, because he's decelerated, it kind of like takes his sprint speed away, so it gives the attacker a massive advantage, and sometimes you can see goals like that. So for that reason, I recommend it on low, maybe even high, definitely not none. Jockeying's assisted. This is another thing that I could maybe experiment with, same for you guys. Apparently, you know, there's animation in the game where they do skill moves like hill to hill, body feint diagonal, scoop turn, running fake shot at times, where basically like, when you activate like these skill moves, your the opponent centre back gets put in like an animation of like stuck in the mud, kind of like frozen type of thing. And sometimes he like pulls his shirt, you know. It's really easy to see. You guys will probably know what I'm talking about. But apparently, if you have manual jockeying off, then that gets rid of them auto animations. But obviously, the disadvantage of having that is that around the edge of the box, you're gonna find it a lot harder, and it's gonna be a lot more like, I don't know, more skillful to be able to defend really well using manual jockeying compared to assisted, of course. But it's one of them things where like, it ups your ceiling to a higher level. So yeah, I heard I think Rasic uses manual jockeying for that reason. So, you know, he won the last tournament, so maybe that's something that we should all be doing. I'm not sure. Right stick switching, I tried ball relative in the beta, didn't really like it. I just found myself switching to the wrong player all the time. I feel like it's one of them things, like, I don't know, I don't really have an issue with player switching. I know a lot of people do this year, but me, not really. The only issue I have is when it doesn't register. I'm not sure if it even does that anymore after this new patch. But yeah, player relative's fine for me. There's no issues there. I definitely recommend that. And then all these are just pretty much the basics, I think. I think everyone's going to really have these. There's no reason to change it. Analog sprint, I have it on, but my sprint run's RB, so it's not really on. But I think there's quite a few pros that use analog sprint, which basically like lets you, I guess, control more how fast you want to run by how far you push the trigger down, which is, it's a cool feature, to be honest. I wish I could maybe use it, but nah, I don't think you're at a massive disadvantage not using it, so no issue there. Pass receiver lock, got a lot of people asking me about this. It's again something I tried in the beta. The thing with this is like, you'll be surprised at how sometimes off target your pass is early. So like, when I like watch goals on the replays after the games, and you can like see the arrow where you're aiming, like, I tell you, you'll be surprised at how off target you are at times, and like the last second like swing towards the direction of the player that you want like benefits you. You know, there's times where like it's delayed, and you aim somewhere, the pass doesn't go instantly, and you end up passing like backwards, sideways, and like maybe giving the ball away. But it's just one of them things where you just gotta suck it up, really, because I tell you, man, life is not better when it's on early. So yeah, not only that, but like there's times where you'll see a pass, and because the delay, like you'll see that they manually mark the pass, cut the passing lane, and you can just switch out last minute. And this is another thing with like through balls. Through balls is a really like good example of that. Like, you play the through ball, and then you realise, oh, he's offside because of like the delay or something, so you can just swing it. It's a bit risky, but yeah, that's another reason why I have that on. So yeah, definitely recommend that. Last thing, I guess, I'll show you guys my buttons. They're pretty funky, I'll be honest, and it's not something that I'd advise you guys to try and switch to. But you know, in COD, like, we all start off on like default, I guess, when you're like a little newbie, and then I guess you advance onto tactical, even on like Black Ops 3, because I didn't have a scuff controller. I started to use sticker move, so it is possible to change your buttons. But yeah. Now for me, these buttons are like in terms of like, I guess in my head, it makes the most sense on paper, my buttons, and I'll tell you why right now. So I use X to shoot, RB to run. That's kind of like a nothing thing really. Basically I played PES 2006, 2005, 2007, 2008. So when I transitioned into FIFA, I kind of just stuck with what I was used to. I didn't see any point in trying to learn new buttons. Like, we're still playing a football game at the end of the day, and I was used to playing with them, so we stuck with that. But now this is what I'm talking about. So one of my friends, like brothers, he recommended this to me when Legacy, is it Legacy Defending, Tactical Defending, whatever it's called. Whenever that first got introduced to FIFA, I think it was like FIFA 10, FIFA 12. I think prior to that there was no tackle button. It was only jockey, and like you basically tackle by like jockeying into people. But when they put in the tackle button, I was kind of like having an issue, like, you know, left stick, right stick, switch in, whatever, tackle. I think tackle was for you guys is B or X, which is like really awkward in my opinion. And for me, well, for him, he recommended me RT to tackle, which turned out to be probably like one of the best things I've ever been told in terms of FIFA. Like this, like thinking now, this helps my gameplay so much. So like for example, if you guys can see my controller here. So like say, you know, you use your left stick of course to run normally, right stick to switch. I use a right stick. I don't have to take my finger off any analog sticks to tackle R2. But like for you guys, I guess people that use the normal buttons, if you're, say if you right stick switch, you then have to take your thumb off. So what happens if you miss a tackle or something like that? You can't like react as quick as I can to situations, in my opinion. So I feel like my buttons are the best buttons for FIFA, in my opinion. And second man press is changed to B, and it's one of them things like second man press is massively nerfed now. So I guess in like other FIFAs you could say that RB, RT, whatever to second man press is, it's just as useful, because second man press is really useful, and you don't really want to be taking your finger off right stick when you're second man pressing. But nah, tackling is so easy in this buttons. But like I said, it's not something that I'd say okay, you change to these buttons, you're gonna get so much better. This is just what I use and what I prefer. And yeah, slide tackles also X. I'm not sure if that's a thing for you guys, but that messes me up sometimes because I shoot with X. So you know, like 2, 3, 4, 5 times a year I get a red card when I'm spamming X to try and shoot. So that's an unfortunate thing that comes along with it. But yeah, that's my controller settings. Let's switch over to the camera settings, guys. So this right here, the camera settings, is in my opinion the thing that could possibly elevate your gameplay to another level. Like for me, if I was to give like, I don't know, 10 tips to get better at FIFA, this would be one of my recommended. Switch your camera to co-op. It just makes the most like logical sense. Like of course you want to see as much as the pitch as possible. Like there's no reason why you don't want to be. If you're using a radar, that means you're not fully concentrating on what's happening on your screen. So, you know, I used to get caught in quite a lot of situations. For example, like I'll be watching the radar for like a through ball, and I'm not aware that's like the guys literally just rush me and come to tackle me. So, yeah, I think it's just logic. Like if you're watching the radar, you can't watch your screen as well. Also it just makes everything easier. This is what I'm using, co-op 15.5. I got quite a few pros using it now. Nightwatch uses it. Tas has switched over to it recently. He's really enjoying it. Harry went back to it after, I think he was using telebroadcast. I think the thing with like cameras is people are scared of change, and I think like default it's like you would never go to co-op. Like your first camera would probably be like classic, telly, or telebroadcast, which is what pretty much everyone else uses, I think. But no, there's a few guys that use co-op other than the few I just named. I think Marcus Gomes uses it, Fabio Denuzzo. There's a few guys, but yeah, I just want to show you guys like a little view on like what I see on my screen. So if I can get the ball back off the AI quick. So yeah. So you see here, if I have the ball here, like anywhere in my half, I can see the switch at any moment, which is something that's like massive for me. I can see all the runs that are coming on my screen. If we was to go here to the halfway line, I can see all the runs that the opponent's making. Like it just makes so much more sense to play like this, in my opinion. And what the negative is, I guess, people say that you miss out on like the micro movements. So like your dribblings, it's a bit harder to dribble. I think that's literally it. It's harder to like dribble and like react to defenders, which I don't know. I feel like I'm one of the best dribblers in FIFA, in my opinion, and I have really like no issue with it at all. So I don't see why you guys would have an issue with it. Like the positives outweigh the negatives by so much. Like I say, defensively you're improved so much. Like you're no longer getting caught out with like through balls. You're no longer like in a situation where they get the ball down the line. And there's a runner back post. If you see the runner back post, of course you switch on, you mark the runner. But if you're on say telly broadcast or something, you're marking the guy 1v1. You can't see, maybe you're not looking at the minimap at the time, you can't see the guy back post. It just makes everything so much harder if you're not using co-op, in my opinion. So yeah, I recommend you guys check that out. Let me know how it goes. That's pretty much it. Nothing really special. It's just a few tweaks, I guess. Obviously the co-op is the big thing, but for controller settings, I feel like we pretty much will all have the same controller settings, maybe just like a couple things that here or there. Appreciate the support as always, guys. If you enjoyed this video, if it helped you out, like, comment and subscribe. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.